Hello there, and a very good Friday morning to all our viewers joining in. I'm Zulfick Farzan, and this is the Breakfast Rundown, and it's good to be back here in the studios in Colombo to bring you all the very latest of what's happening here at home and across the world. Now, this week for Sri Lanka can be considered as a holy week because on one side we have the sacred veneration of the sacred tooth relic of the Buddha taking place in Kandy, and then Christians across Sri Lanka will be marking Good Friday today and also Easter Sunday during the weekend. Now, the Sri Dalada Vandana, or the sacred veneration of the tooth relic of Lord Buddha, will take place from today, that's April 18th, until April 27th. Now, the relic exposition will open at 3:30 p.m. today and will close for the day at 5:30 p.m. Now, thereafter, from tomorrow to the 27th of April, the relic exposition will open at 12 noon daily for the general public and will close for the day at 5:30 p.m. Now, Sri Lanka Police have announced that the event is expected to attract around 2 million devotees from across Sri Lanka and even from around the world. The 10-day Sri Dalada Vandana ceremony, or the sacred veneration of the tooth relic of Lord Buddha, is being held to bestow blessings upon the people and everyone else worldwide. Now, this significant Buddhist event is taking place for the first time in 16 years. Now, the ceremony will commence this afternoon at the Sri Dalada Maligava, or the Temple of the Sacred Tooth Relic in Kandy, following special religious observances. The event will be attended by the Mahanayaka Theras of the Malbatu and Asgiriya chapters along with the Mahasangha. President Anura Kumara Disanayaka is also expected to be present for this event. Now, at the same time, today is Good Friday, a solemn day observed by Christians worldwide to commemorate the suffering, crucifixion and the death of Jesus Christ. Now, on this day, believers take part in various religious rituals and services reflecting on the significance of the sacrifices made by Jesus Christ. According to Christian belief, Jesus rose from the dead on Sunday following Good Friday. This is celebrated as Easter Sunday, symbolizing hope, renewal and victory. This year, Easter Sunday falls on April 20th, marking the culmination of the Holy Week. Now, moving from the religious aspect to the more political landscape here in Sri Lanka, the local government elections are drawing closer, and Postmaster General Ruwan Satkumara has announced that official polling cards for several local government institutions have not yet been received ahead of the upcoming local government elections. Now, this delay is apparently attributed to the interim injunction that was imposed on several institutions preventing the elections from taking place on May 6th. Now, the distribution of polling cards for the local government elections will commence tomorrow, with April 27 declared a special day for the distribution of these polling cards. Now, Postmaster General Satkumara expects the distribution to be completed by April 29th. Now, on April 7th, the Court of Appeal issued an interim injunction suspending the election activities for 18 local government institutions, including the Colombo Municipal Council. This decision was made to allow the examination of writ petitions that were filed by several political parties and independent groups against the rejection of their nominations for those local government bodies. However, on April 11th, the Court of Appeal lifted the interim injunction, ordering the acceptance of all the rejected nominations for these local government institutions. Now, this decision followed the consideration of a motion that was filed by the country's Attorney General. Now, at the same time, the country's Election Commission says all postal ballot papers will be distributed by 21st April. Chairman of the Commission, R.M.A.L. Ratnayaka, said that if a court issues any ruling affecting specific local government bodies, postal voting in those areas may be delayed accordingly. So far, ballot papers for postal voting have been dispatched to 227 local government institutions. A distribution to the remaining 112 institutions is expected to be completed in the coming days. In light of the recent developments, the Commission has also revised the dates for postal ballot marking. Now, postal voting for all state institutions, including the police, services, schools, corporations and statutory boards, will now take place on April 24th, 25th, 28th and 29th. Now, still in Sri Lanka, last night there was a shooting that shocked Balapitiya. Now, one person was injured in this shooting incident that took place close to the Revat College in Balapitiya at around 9 p.m. Police spokesperson SSP Buddhika Manatunga confirmed that the injured individual was admitted to the Balapitiya hospital for treatment. Now, according to initial investigations, the victim had reportedly gone near the college based on a request from another individual when he was shot by a person who had been in hiding in the vicinity. Now, in recent weeks, the entire world was looking at two global powers, USA and China. Two global powers engaged in a trade war, imposing tariff after tariff on each other. Now, just a day before, Singapore's Prime Minister, speaking at the Sinathambi Rajaratnam Memorial Lecture in Singapore, highlighted that this trade war is impacting smaller island nations and smaller countries and small economies like Singapore and other countries around it. Now, they are looking for more options while this trade war is going on. Now, at the same time, Chinese President Xi Jinping was in Vietnam earlier this week, and then he moved to Malaysia, where he met with the Malaysian King and also Malaysian Prime Minister Anwar Ibrahim. Now, in Malaysia, Xi Jinping signed 30 memorandums of understanding with Malaysia and also highlighted the importance of building a Chinese-Malaysian community for further development drives in the region. The Malaysian Prime Minister Anwar Ibrahim also signaled in a slight way as a message to the US as well that Malaysia stands as a principled partner and friend for China. While all these developments are taking place, on Monday, the IMF and World Bank spring meetings will kick off in Washington, D.C. Now, International Monetary Fund Chief Kristalina Georgieva said that tariffs and unilateral trade actions are causing uncertainty that will lower global growth, but not enough to tip the world's economy in the recession. I beg your pardon, into a recession. Now, Georgieva sounded a positive note that the world should seize opportunity in the face of challenges in her speech ahead of the spring meetings of the IMF and the World Bank.
In trade policy, the goal must be to secure a settlement among the largest players that preserve openness and deliver, very important, deliver a more leveled playing field. To restart a global trend towards lower tariff rates while also reducing non-tariff barriers and distortions. We need a more resilient world economy, not a drift to division. Surplus country generation. What we see this time around is a very sharp increase in uncertainty. But the economic fundamentals are still quite strong. This is why when I spoke about what you should expect from us next week, I stressed there would be markdowns but not recession. We, of course, know from experience that the longer uncertainty goes, the more likely it is to have negative impact on growth. So the more we can advance in clarity, remove this uncertainty, the better.
Now, in more international news, something's that happening in the United States. California has sued Donald Trump for imposing these tariffs that are impacting domestic businesses and enterprises. Now, the suit against the Trump administration for imposing these trade tariffs was filed on behalf of the Californian citizens by its governor. Now, at the same time, Donald Trump is also facing another legal hurdle. Now, when Donald Trump was sworn in, one of the first executive orders that he signed was ending the constitutional birthright citizenship guarantees. Now, legal action has been taken against this move. Now, the United States Supreme Court is preparing to hear these petitions challenging Donald Trump's executive decision to end the birthright guarantees. Now, according to international media outlets, more than 1,000 international students studying in the United States, as well as graduates in the United States, have had their visas revoked or statuses terminated because of this executive action. Now, at the same time, recently Donald Trump's administration took a blow at Harvard University as well with regard to the ongoing developments regarding trade tariffs and so on. Harvard also responded, and the Trump administration now says that they are in talks. Now, let's move on to some sports news. The Gujarat Titans have brought in Sri Lankan all-rounder Dasun Shanaka as a replacement for the injured Glenn Phillips for the remainder of the Indian Premier League 2025. Now, Shanaka has played for the Gujarat Titans in the past in 2023 and comes in for approximately $87,800 US. Now, Phillips had picked up a groin injury while fielding against Sunrisers Hyderabad just over 10 days ago and was later ruled out of the tournament to head back home to New Zealand. Shanaka has played only one season of the IPL so far, when he got 3 games for Gujarat Titans, scored only 26 runs and didn't get to bowl at all 2 seasons. Gujarat Titans had earlier lost the services of Kagiso Rabada on April 3rd when he left home for an important personal matter. There is no clarity on when and if he will return to India. Gujarat Titans hadn't named a replacement for Rabada as well. Now, the Gujarat Titans have won 4 of their 6 games and are on second spot on the points table with nearly half of the league stage over. Well, that brings a wrap to this morning's edition of the Breakfast Rundown. But if you want to keep yourself updated of all the news that's happening here at home and across the world, do visit us on our website on www.newsfirst.lk and follow us on our social media handles on Instagram, X, Facebook, as well as TikTok. And don't forget YouTube as well. Until I see you again on Monday, take care and God bless.